Okay, so today we're doing composite figures, and I think this is where the area part gets a little bit more fun because we've just been doing basic shapes up until now, and with composite figures, we're going to have to break up our shapes into shapes we already know. So composite figures are figures that can be separated into different regions, and those regions are those basic shapes, like a triangle, a rectangle, a square, a circle, things like that. To find the area of a composite figure, you divide up the regions and find the area of each of the divided parts, and then you find the sum to get the entire shape, okay? So let's break it down. In number one, I have a green rectangle, and I'm making myself a red trapezoid. Okay. So let's start with the rectangle. We know the area of a rectangle is length times width, which is, for the green, 12 times 23. And that gets us 276. Then I focus on the red trapezoid. Area is equal to 1/2 the height, and remember we add the two bases together. So 1/2. So now the height of the trapezoid. They gave us that the entire shape here is 18, but I know this right here is 12 from the rectangle. So if the rectangle uses 12 of that 18, I know the trapezoid is using 6 of it. And one base is 15 on its own. The other base is shared with the rectangle, so I know it's 23. 23 plus 15 times 6, all divided by 2, is 114. Last step is to add the two shapes together. 276 plus 114, 390 centimeters squared for the entire composite shape. Okay, let's look at another one. This weird guy. So here I see half a circle, and here I see the other half of the circle. In the middle, I see a parallelogram. And before I colored everything up, that 6 inches was representing the radius of that half circle. So I know that the other half of that side is 6 as well. So a whole side, if I wish to use a different color, will be 12. Okay, so I'm going to fill that in real fast. Okay. So focusing on my parallelogram first, because why not? Parallelograms are just like doing a rectangle. You can just say it's length times width. Oh, sorry, it's not length times width, it's length times height. What's wrong with me? So it is 12 times 5, which we know is 60. Then I know I have a half circle and I have another half circle, so I could treat that like a whole circle. Area of a circle is pi r squared. Instead of r, we are going to put 6, which will be 36 pi, which will equal 113.1. Last thing we do, add the two shapes together. 173.1 inches squared. Okay. Shape number 3. Getting more intense because now we have 3 shapes. I'm going to do this pink rectangle, a green triangle, and a blue half circle, semicircle. Okay, so starting with my rectangle, I know a rectangle is length times width. I only have my width right now, so I'm going to look in this picture first. If I know the top part of the rectangle is 9, I know the bottom part of the rectangle is also 9. That bottom part of the rectangle is sharing half the circle, so I know the other part of the circle is also 9 because those are both radii. Which means I could have a radius this way, right? Which would also be 9. Which means of this 26 for the entire shape, 9 feet of it is the circle. So then I know the rest of it is the rectangle, okay? Because again, these are all radii down here. So now for that rectangle, I can do area equals length times width, because I know it is 9 times 17. Use a calculator, and I know it is 153. That's the rectangle. Put that aside. Focusing now on the triangle. Triangles, 1/2 base times height. I have my base is 9. Technically don't have my height labeled in the picture, but I know it because again, it's part of the side of the rectangle. The right side of the rectangle is 17. On the left side, they've labeled 7, which means I have 10 remaining down here. So I know it is 1/2 times 9 times 10. Half of 9 times 10 should be 45. Okay, 2 out of 3. Last one is that half circle. Area of a circle is pi r squared. We're not doing a full circle. We're only doing part of one or a half of one. So in this case, we would want to divide our answer by 2. So pi, radius is 9, so 9 squared, all divided by 2. When I plug that into the calculator, I should get 127.23. Last step is to add all 3 numbers together. So we have 153 plus 45 plus 127.23. Area of the whole shape is 325.23 feet squared. And I got it from there. Okay, one more example. We have 2 shapes that I can break it into. I see a semicircle right here, and I see a triangle right here. Okie dokie. First things first, let's do that circle, or that semicircle, I should say. In that picture, that's 16. Since they centered it, that means the entire way across is 16. So when I plug into pi radius squared, and remember, divided by 2 since it's a semicircle, I'm not going to put 16, I'm going to put 8 for my radius. And that should come out to just a little over 100, 100.53. Okay. Next I have my triangle. Area equals 1/2 base times height. Well, I have my base right there. It's 16. Remember, the height has to be a vertical height, so that 17 slant does not work. So I need a vertical height that I don't know yet. I'll put X. But I know how to find it, because if I want to do that, I just created myself a little right triangle right here. 16 squared. I'm sorry, not 16 squared. Me doing that, cut that line in half. So that'd be 8 squared plus x squared equals 17 squared. 8 times 8 is 64. So I would want to subtract over my 8 squared from my 17 squared. So when I do that, I should get x squared is 225. And remember, square root. X is 15. So I just found my height. It is 15 So I will erase my X now. Oops. And I'm going to put 15 in its place. So now I can finish doing my triangle. 1/2 base, which what we said was of that big triangle is 16, and the height is 15, which is equal to, I'm going to calculate it, 120. Last step, 120 plus 100.53, which is 220.53. Oh, didn't put my units. Meter squared. Okay. On the next page, remember we crossed out all the shaded region information, so you just have question 5 to do. Go ahead and give question 5 a try. I'm going to give you guys a hint, and it breaks up into 3 shapes. You will end up with a square, a triangle, and a trapezoid. So go ahead and give that a shot. Let me know if you need help.